Representative Bo Mitchell says most states do something to limit guns in response to a school shooting. He says not add more.
Knowing that my teacher had a gun in the room would have never made me feel more safe. It only would have made me feel more dangerous. Guns will never be and never have been the solution to gun violence.
So what is the next step? Well, Governor Lee has to approve and sign off on this bill for these policies to take effect. Reporting live from the state capitol, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Caitlin, thank you. Well, this bill passed just over a year after the Covenant school shooting. 3 children and 3 staffers died in the gunfire, and those connected to the Covenant school met with lawmakers several times before this legislation passed.
It's not anti-SRO. I do support armed security in schools. I know some people do not. I personally do. I couldn't send my son to school anymore without that. I'm just asking that we please not put that burden on our teachers.
Crisis in the Classroom is Fox 17 News' commitment to exposing problems in our schools and finding solutions. If you have a story that you think we should cover, send us an email to news@fox17.com. You can also call our tip line at 615-266-4149.
Tonight in Operation Crime and Justice, state lawmakers also vote to amend a part of the Tennessee Constitution on the books since the year Tennessee became a state. It would give state judges wider discretion to keep people who are accused of serious crimes behind bars until trial. But it won't happen unless you sign off. The right to bail is one of the foundations of our justice system. Right now, Tennessee judges can only deny bail in capital murder cases, but it may not be that way much longer.
Senate Joint Resolution 919.
State Senate approved a resolution that would give our judges expanded discretion to deny bail. Those offenses include second-degree murder, child rape, and terrorism. The House took up that resolution today.
18 states that have this in their constitution. There are 8 states that allow no bond at all for these crimes that are enumerated here.
State Representative John Ray Clemens of Nashville is among those who are concerned.
Amending our state constitution, a provision of which has not been altered or amended since 1796, is simply not the answer.
Taking people's liberty is a real issue. Because we have to remember that pre-trial people are what? Innocent until proven guilty.
But it is this argument from State Representative Kip Capley that carried the day.
You know who doesn't become a repeat offender? The one that stays in prison. Those people can't reoffend.
This resolution is moving forward, but changing the state constitution requires the next General Assembly to agree. And even then, the people will have the final say. Now, with that in mind, if lawmakers say yes again next year after they meet in session, then this question could be on a statewide ballot as early as 2026.
The only reason he's dead is because a murderer was out on bond.
Tonight in Operation Crime and Justice, Tennessee state lawmakers and local advocates are calling for change after Metro Police say a repeat offender is on the run after killing a man in Midtown this weekend. Take a look at your screen. This is the suspect, Adrian Cameron Jr. The 19-year-old was out on bond with an ankle monitor while awaiting trial for a 2021 murder. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker bringing us the call to action.
Metro Police tell me this robbery-related homicide happened in this alleyway around 2:30 in the morning on Hayes Street, right outside of a music studio. And thankfully, more people did not get hurt because keep in mind, just a couple streets away is those popular Midtown bars like Winners and Losers, where lots of people are walking around at that hour.
Police say 19-year-old Adrian Cameron Jr. was identified as one of the 3 suspects involved in the shooting that killed 32-year-old rapper Chris Cheeks.
The only reason he's dead is because a murderer was out on bond.
Verna Wyatt with Tennessee Voices for Victims angered after learning the teen was out on a $100,000 bond with an ankle monitor while waiting trial for the September 2021 murder of Josh Evans.
Put on a leg monitor or an ankle monitor on them, and somehow you think that's going to take them out of their normal, which is violence and chaos.
Police say data from the ankle monitor was turned off shortly after Saturday's shooting. The DA's office says they've now filed a motion to revoke Cameron's bond. But Wyatt says what we're currently doing is not working.
We've got to start looking at what is the seriousness of the crime, number one, and what is their background.
Hoping to address the issues surrounding repeat crimes, State Representative John Gillespie says cases like this happen far too often.
It's unacceptable. We are failing the public. Government is failing the public in this regard, and we have to do better.
Gillespie says Tennessee has soft policies that have been in place for decades, and he'd like to see more, quote, common sense from city leaders, as well as a crackdown on juvenile crime.
Judges especially juvenile judges, have a very big role to play in this. It takes a DA and a juvenile court judge to concurrently agree to send someone to adult court. I think there are too many checks on that.
Gillespie has a few bills working its way through the legislation, including stricter pretrial monitoring. Our investigative reporter Dennis Ferrier will be taking a deeper dive into this and also similar cases, but also looking at the broader issue of repeat offenders here in the mid-state on Fox 17 News on Thursday. For now, reporting in Midtown, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, now time to talk about the weather, and we've got our top lady on the job, and what a nice story you have to tell.
Yeah, it's been nice today, hasn't it? I mean, this really is, I think it's the weather that we all wish we could have all year round.
It's not too hot, it's not too cold. This is the good stuff.
Yeah, right. It is kind of right in the middle where we, at least for me, I don't know about you guys, but we're looking at nice weather for we've had it for the past couple of days. We'll see it again on Thursday. Tomorrow we will have a little bit of rain around as we head into the morning hours. Very light rain moving through as we head towards the overnight now. As we take a look here at the radar, and boy, must be Gremlin Tuesday because my clicker's not working. So there it goes. It's I called it out, and so it decided to play ball. We are looking at our cold front here just off to the north and to the west, and we've got these light showers that are with us here. So as we head through the evening hours, these light rain showers will continue to march closer to Middle Tennessee. I'd expect maybe a 1/10 of an inch or two in the rain gauge. Higher amounts will probably be up towards southern Kentucky, but these are going to be really light in nature. Things are pretty quiet on Broadway this evening. Our temperature sitting at 66 degrees at the moment with a partly cloudy sky. The clouds are starting to roll in. Hopefully you had a great view of the full April moon, the pink moon this evening, because the cloud cover will roll through here in the next few hours. Temperature around 56 for the overnight here in town. We'll have more on the potential for a couple more chances for rain, one of which going into the weekend. We'll talk more about it in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast. Scott.
Katie, thank you. Also ahead, paying the price, just how much experts say.
Pizzas and 52 all-nighters. The meticulously refined Tiguan. Get 0% APR financing or a $2,000 customer bonus on a new 2024 Tiguan during the Volkswagen 75th anniversary sales event.
In the economy tonight, record-breaking heat waves, severe flooding, and wildfires. Experts say it's the price that we're paying for the price of climate change. And in some cases, it's making the world poorer. Fox 17 News' Kelly Avelino with the impact that we could all face.
Troubling results from a new study published in Nature saying there is no way to avoid short-term financial pain, even if governments ramp up their efforts to tackle the climate crisis now.
The last 7 complete years, the United States has really broken so many different records in terms of weather and climate extremes. With the cost in excess of $1.1 trillion.
The study connects people's personal health, wealth, and happiness to climate change. The damage to people's homes, the increased cost to grow and transport food, and mental health tolls will take a hit on the economy close to 19% by 2050. Now, in some instances, those who are contributing to the problem the least will suffer the most.
It's kind of luck of geography in a lot of this, or lack of luck.
The Middle East, North Africa, and South Asia are the regions most likely to see income reductions based on the report.
In some ways, the effects of climate change will likely be larger there, both because of the higher vulnerability in many of these regions, but also because, frankly, they represent gargantuan departures from the conditions that these places are typically used to.
The U.S., a historically large polluter, will see a smaller impact than neighboring countries, but it won't be spared from the effects of a warming planet, especially the younger generations.
disasters, some of which are greatly amplified by climate change, can put the squeeze on housing supplies, making it less affordable.
I'm Kelly Avellino for Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Turning to sports now, the NFL draft 2 days away, and Thursday all eyes will be on the Titans' first-year head coach Brian Callahan. Titans have the 7th overall pick in the first round. Fox 17 sports director Jill Jelnick now with more on who the team is targeting.
The Tennessee Titans had a lot of needs going into this offseason, but none bigger than left tackle. The majority of draft experts have the Titans selecting a lineman in the first round of the NFL draft. And the good news is both general manager Ray Carthon and head coach Brian Callahan believe this is a draft class that is deep with offensive line talent. Carthon also noted that besides looking at the typical size and speed of linemen, they also look at scheme. A lot of college offenses these days have started to shift back to a pro-style offense, and that's something the Titans evaluate when they're looking at the tape and looking out for their future offensive linemen.
We were looking at the numbers yesterday. The numbers are pretty consistent. The O-line is a little deeper for us, in particular, and I think a lot of it has to do with what you're doing schematically and how these different players fit into your scheme. There was a time where college offenses were pro-style offenses, and then it kind of went more spread, and you're starting to see a little bit more of the pro concepts coming back. So you have a little bit more guys that fit, right into what you want to do.
Just from my point of view, it's a bunch of good players. There's it's probably more offensive linemen than there's been in past classes. This feels deep in terms of the talent that's available. And the same thing with the receivers. I think the receiver classes are pretty similar these days, where you're going to have a handful of high-end talent that's probably going to go in the higher parts of the rounds, and there's going to be some depth in the class that's got a lot of different options for what you're looking for in a receiver.
Of course, offensive lineman and receiver, the two biggest needs for the Titans, but you can't forget about the defense. Coach Callahan also mentioning how their scout team, they're challenging that team to look for defensive studs in those 5th, 6th, and 7th rounds. Those are the rounds that they hope to separate themselves and have an advantage when it comes to finding those talented players. NFL draft this Thursday, 7 p.m. start for the first round, and as always, Fox 17 will have you covered. Reporting from the Titans practice facility, Jill Jelnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
All right, we really hit that sweet spot today, and sounds like it's going to hold all week.
Most of the week, yeah. And really tonight, I think I'm going to call this rain chance a hiccup for the evening, because by tomorrow afternoon, it'll be over.
Mother Nature doesn't really mean it.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe you can sleep through it.
Yeah. A couple showers late tonight into tomorrow morning, but I'd say by mid-morning, the clouds are already moving out. So if you were watching the news or paying attention to the weather, you'd never know it would rain. It was going to rain tonight. We will find a few light showers around, but again, it won't amount to too much in the rain gauge. Nice Thursday on tap, and Friday we've got another chance for showers around, but the weekend is looking better as we head into Saturday and into Sunday. Allergy levels today, boy, they are high. In fact, very high in the tree category: elm, cedar, pine, and birch. The main culprits there. Weeds, low category here. In the moderate category, moderate to high for grass, and mold even in a slight category for us too. So overall, just kind of a bad day for allergies. Winds right now looking much better than where they were this afternoon, about 5 to 10 mile per hour gusts at most. And this again is all ahead of the front as it marches closer to us here. But again, light showers and maybe a rumble of thunder at best. So by 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, we should be looking at a partly cloudy sky. Temperatures already in the mid-60s, on our way to the low to mid-70s for the afternoon with plenty of sunshine. So let's take future track and walk this forward. By midnight, more of these showers starting to move in from southern Kentucky. Light rain as we head into the very early morning hours of Wednesday, and showers starting to clear by morning commute time. So maybe a few sprinkles for folks in Tullahoma, McMinnville, Murfreesboro, over to Crossville and Cookeville, but we'll be drying out quickly here. This is 10 a.m. and then into Wednesday afternoon, evening, looking beautiful with that sunshine around. Thursday will start off with clear skies, and overall Thursday is looking to be a nice day as well. As we check out the long range here, you can see through tomorrow night fine. Front moves out. A few showers to our west on Thursday, but we will get by dry. It won't be until late Thursday into Friday that we've got our next chance for rain moving in. That'll be along a warm front that pushes through, and rain should clear by mid-afternoon on Friday. And then as we go into Saturday, some of the models are hinting at a few sprinkles early in the morning, which is a big day. We've got the marathon going on. We'll take a look at another long-range model for us, and we'll have the official forecast for the marathon this weekend. That's coming up in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
College campuses around the country rocked by
40% off store-wide. Hurry in for big savings on all small appliances and housewares. Get more for mom at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Protests over the Israel-Hamas war are dividing a growing number of college campuses here in the U.S. In fact, hundreds of rowdy students are facing charges.
And as Fox 17 News' Matt Gelka explains, other students fear for their safety. By the way, you can let us know what you think by scanning the QR code that will appear here shortly on your screen.
The pro-Palestine demonstrations at Columbia escalated and have now spread. Protesters clashed with police at NYU, where more students were arrested. The school asked cops to move in when people became disruptive. Columbia remains at the center of controversy, with its student tent occupation on campus supporting Gaza.
Liberation is near!
Jewish students say they don't feel safe, and prominent school alumni like New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft says he doesn't feel comfortable supporting his alma mater.
I just can't believe in New York City at Columbia University, Jewish students are afraid to go to classes.
The president blamed both sides for their roles in bringing campuses to a boiling point.
I condemn the anti-Semitic protests. I also condemn those who don't understand what's going on with the Palestinians.
Former President Donald Trump blamed Biden for the protests.
What's going on at the college level and the colleges, Columbia, NYU and others, is a disgrace, and it's really on Biden. He has the wrong signal, he's got the wrong tone, he's got the wrong words.
Missouri Republican Senator Josh Hawley posted on social media, "It's time for Biden to call out the National Guard at our universities to protect Jewish Americans." Pennsylvania Democratic Senator John Fetterman compared the protests to white supremacist rallies in Charlottesville, Virginia, before joining Republicans in calling on the Columbia president to do her job or resign. Some lawmakers are trying to toe the line between free speech and campus safety, but the calls for accountability are growing, with some on Capitol Hill suggesting that the students involved in the protests should be expelled from campus or that the university's funding should be put on pause. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Gelka.
Well, during that story, we had a QR code posted linking up to this poll asking, do you believe the National Guard should be sent to college campuses to control protests? And almost 1,000 people weighing in here. 66.3% say yes, 33.7% say no.
Still ahead tonight on Fox 17 News at 9, complaints in the 12th South neighborhood in Nashville. The construction project there complicated.
Quality checks in the typical hour.
They really take pride in what they do.
Like us.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by B.F. Myers Furniture.
Tonight, construction in Nashville's 12th South area is raising concerns for parents. Fox 17 News' Peyton Muse outlines the issues and what's being done to address them.
You can see the construction behind me, and right around the block is Waverly Belmont Elementary School, and Metro Nashville Public Schools says parents have expressed concerns regarding kids walking and or biking to and from school.
12th Avenue South, a busy street, a walkable street with shops and restaurants nearby. Some parents even walk their kids to school in this neighborhood. House Democratic Representative John Ray Clemens says he noticed this when walking his kid to school.
We have this enormous developer on 12th Avenue South, and I guess they allowed them to close down the entire roadway. And so, you know, if that needs to be done, it needs to be done. I don't understand doing that during rush hour.
Rep. Clemens says the problem is the detour route, which goes down a small side street that runs along the elementary school. And if parents were notified of the closure beforehand, that would have helped.
If they had known that volume of traffic was going to be going in and around that school, they would have probably walked their kids to school or helped them, make sure they're safe in some way.
MNPS says it's heard safety concerns from parents whose children walk or bike to school. And so far, students are able to come to class on time, and the district is in contact with NDOT. Rep. Clemens says if parents were notified about the road closure, that's one thing. But a solution for this is a different detour.
They could set that detour up on Woodmont Boulevard and send people over to 8th Avenue. They could send people down 21st.
NDOT says it understands closures can be a disruption and construction work hours are based on different factors. And this site is in a residential neighborhood. The company is in compliance as construction is allowed from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m., 6 a.m. to 8 for the summer months. NDOT says traffic control is on site, and if any issues pop up, they will work with the permit holders and come up with a solution. Reporting in 12 South, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red Station.
A new bill tonight to ban certain flags in Tennessee classrooms dies in the state Senate. Critics say that it targeted the pride flag since it allowed several other exceptions and would have violated the First Amendment. If it had passed, all public schools and teachers would have had to comply. It failed 13-6.
New tonight, Metro Police say the body of a man found along Interstate 24 north of town is that of a man who was reported missing by his sister. Officers made the discovery around 2 this afternoon on Interstate 24 around Briley Parkway, again on the north side of town. Police say Terrence Williams' sister was on the phone with him last week on the 19th when she says he abruptly hung up while walking to get help after his car had broken down. They believe that Williams is the victim of a hit and run.
Now to Operation Crime and Justice, the historic criminal trial of former President Trump continues with testimony from the former publisher of the National Enquirer. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen bringing us up to speed.
Former President Donald Trump is using his limited time outside the courtroom to attack his opponent, President Biden.
So we're locked up in a courtroom, and this guy's out there campaigning.
Inside the courtroom, prosecutors continued questioning David Pecker, the ex-publisher of the National Enquirer. Pecker detailed a catch-and-kill plan in which he and Trump's campaign would buy and bury negative stories. In one instance, Pecker said his magazine paid a former Trump Tower doorman $30,000 for a story claiming Trump fathered a child outside his marriage, which they found out was not true. The former publisher confirmed the tabloid also ran negative stories about Trump's primary opponents during the 2016 election, saying Trump's former attorney, Michael Cohen, was often his contact.
Entering into a non-disclosure agreement is not illegal. Secondly, catch and kill schemes, which people in the media do, which is to buy the rights to a story and then choose not to publish it, they're also not illegal.
Court started Tuesday with a hearing on whether Trump violated his gag order. Prosecutors argued that Trump should pay $10,000, but Judge Juan Merchan has yet to rule either way. It's still unclear if Trump will take the stand himself.
Politically, it's going to be consequential if he doesn't take the stand because they'll say he took the fifth.
Court is adjourned Wednesday, so testimony will resume Thursday. We can expect to hear more from David Pecker and other key witnesses then. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Still looking at a partly cloudy sky out there. You may have a few more minutes, maybe even an hour left to get a glimpse of the April full moon. The pink moon was full this evening at 6:49. Other names include the sprouting grass moon, the egg moon, and the fish moon. And of course, it doesn't appear pink. It's just called pink because of the blooming flowers this time of year. But a beautiful moon nonetheless this evening with that mainly clear sky that we've had for much of the afternoon. Out the door for tomorrow morning, temperatures in the upper 50s here. We are looking at a partly cloudy sky as we head through the morning. So again, a lot of these showers should be clearing by about 7-8 a.m. The rain that we do see will come through as you're sleeping. It's 56 for Clarksville and cross a little bit more cloud cover because the showers will be passing through just before 7 a.m. out toward the Cumberland Plateau with temperatures a little cooler there in the low 50s. Highs tomorrow area-wide should be right around 70 or so out towards the plateau. McMinnville at 70, Tullahoma at 73, as well as Murfreesboro, and around 70 toward Clarksville. Coming up, we'll talk more about the potential for a little bit more rain as we head towards the end of the work week. And we've got your marathon forecast, that in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
And the Nashville Predators look to even the series against the Vancouver Canucks tonight. I'll have much more on Game 2, including why in the world I am ready to hit the ice.
Hey there, I'm Fox 17 News This Morning anchor Erica Glover, and so many of us are putting those final touches on our summer vacation plans, right? Well, a new study shows 1 in 3 people will go into debt in order to make those summer vacation.
Able to pay my bills. I enjoyed you representing me because I knew I had to have the best.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Eurostone.
All right, folks, it is playoff time for the Nashville Predators, and tonight the Preds are on the road in Vancouver for Game 2 in their opening round series against the Canucks.
Well, the Preds looking to even the series after the Canucks win Game 1 Sunday night. Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick joining us now, all decked out. Jill, what's going on here with the gear? You're suited up.
Megan, Scott, it's game day for the Preds. Of course, I don't normally gear up like this, but tonight is a little different. Preds playing in Vancouver, which means the game just started, and I can't show you those highlights just yet. So this is the closest I could get to game day for you, and at least I can show you what's happened so far, because it's been a lot. First, we got to start with the news of the day. Canucks starting goalie Thatcher Demko is out with an injury. Casey DeSmith making his second career playoff start, and the Preds took advantage right away. Not even 2 minutes into the game, less than 2 minutes, about 19 and some change on the clock. Here's how it happened. The Preds scored first. Nashville on the forecheck, and here we go. We have our forwards here. Of course, Ryan O'Reilly, the factor. He's middle ice. Anthony Beauvillier right here, and in case you can't tell by this mustache, that's Philip Forsberg. Philip Forsberg with the puck here, takes a shot at Casey DeSmith. It goes off the stick of Beauvillier and deflects into the goal, completely fools DeSmith, and that's how the Preds scored the very first goal of Game 1. So right now, Preds currently leading 1-0 over the Canucks. Again, that score happened less than 2 minutes into the game. So great start for Nashville, especially after dropping Game 1 on Sunday night. I'll have much more on this game at 10, and when I say much more, I mean amazing stick figures.
Coming up, we'll talk more about our forecast as we head more into the weekend, including the marathon.
And the Senate's decision to finish it off with.
Deadline is April 30th. Visit sbgi.net/scholarship.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Electronic Express. We make it happen.
An update now on breaking news from Washington as Congress approves a TikTok ban bundled with a foreign aid package. Late tonight, the U.S. Senate signing off on a $95 billion bill that includes financial aid for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. This same measure forces TikTok's parent company, China-owned ByteDance, to sell to an American company and do it within 9 months, or this app will be banned for use here in the U.S. This bill is now headed to the president's desk.
Continuing coverage tonight on the controversy surrounding TikTok. And joining us now is retired FBI agent and cybercrimes and security expert Scott Augenbaum. Scott, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. This is such a big topic in the news today.
Oh, it sure is. And TikTok, you know, it's often been described as the spy balloon for Americans' phones. How much of a national security threat is this?
I really try to keep an open mind on this, but during my decades with the FBI, I've spent so much time on the investigation involving the People's Republic of China into theft of companies right here in Middle Tennessee. The thing that concerns me the most is the fact that from what history tells us is the Chinese government wants to influence foreign powers. And what better way to do this than having something like TikTok?
Well, the U.S. has laid down some parameters with this legislation. How likely is China to sell off ByteDance to an American company, and how much would that even change the app?
I don't even know if it would even change it that much, because if, listening to the legislation, there's 365 days, for China to sell that portion. But they're already into this, and there's a lot of reasons why some companies want them. I mean, I'm trying to be open-minded here. They're selling a lot of merchandise, so the big online shoppers don't want them. The other platforms don't want them. I get that. But at the end of the day, when there is something owned by the People's Republic of China, it causes me concern, because this would be the first time in history they're not involved in some sort of espionage campaign.
Okay, so then what would you say to the demographic that loves TikTok, the influencers that make money on the app, and people who say it's their source of information and entertainment?
That is such a hard thing to bring here. I'm trying to really find a way here. How do we get into this? How did we get into this in the first place? That's why it's a little too late. But the thing that really there's so much in the United States. We're so split on so many things. But how did all the Republicans and Democrats get together? Because people went over and they complained, and there are some concerns, and parents are also very concerned that their kids are spending so much time and they're getting all of their information from this one platform.
All right, Scott Agamom, thank you so much for your expertise tonight.
Thank you.
Super important topic and the subject of our X-Poll question tonight. The question, do you think TikTok poses a threat to our national security? 462 people weighing in, and 55.2% say yes, but a fairly large number, 44.8%, say we don't think so. You can weigh in. Just scan the QR code there on the right-hand side of your screen. It will link you to our poll, and we will update the results for you coming up tonight on Fox 17 News at 10.
All right, good weather headed our way. Maybe just a little chance of showers.
Yeah,
blink and you'll miss it.
I think, we'll probably be sleeping right through it.
Yeah.
My favorite
won't
kind.
Even know. Right. And it really won't amount to too much in the rain gauge, too. So I don't think we're going to end up with a lot. A little bit better chance on Friday for us here. And this is going to be on the tail end of a pretty active pattern that is shaping up for folks in the Central Plains, which we'll talk about here in just a second. Everybody nice and comfortable there on Broadway. Temperatures still in the 60s at this hour. We'll take you through Wednesday. This is at 11 a.m. You can see temperatures in Nashville, Clarksville, and Murfreesboro, all in those upper 60s. Winds, which is this blue that you see here, about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And 70s the story for the afternoon. Again, the cloud cover will clear by the time we get into the afternoon hours, making it a pretty nice day for much of the afternoon and into the evening. Then Wednesday night into early Thursday, expecting clear skies, so temperatures will drop back into those low 50s, if not upper 40s, as we head through the first few hours on Thursday morning. So we look ahead here to Thursday and Friday. This is the severe weather outlook for Thursday, and notice that Nashville and Tennessee in general not worried about severe weather, but this is significant for folks in the weather community, because the Storm Prediction Center does not typically issue a day 3 outlook this far advanced, which means that the potential for severe weather and the potential for a severe weather outbreak out in Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas, meteorologists out west are fairly confident in that. So it's just something that grabbed my attention. This is going to move a little east as we head towards Friday. The severe potential then shifts more into Missouri and Arkansas, eastern parts of Kansas, and into Oklahoma and up into Iowa as well. All modes of severe weather would be possible here. Beyond that, the threat is low enough that they are not issuing any more outlooks at this time. I will say, though, anything that we do see, it's likely going to go north of us. So let's walk you through Thursday here. This is Thursday evening into, or I should say Wednesday into early Thursday morning. This is Wednesday afternoon. A few showers will be possible out to the west. here in Oklahoma and the Central Plains. 6 a.m. We'll be watching storms fire on Thursday here. Meanwhile, we're nice and dry back here in Tennessee. Different story Thursday for folks in Memphis. We'll be on the edge of a rain chance for Thursday. Here come the thunderstorms as we head into Friday. More of them begin to pop up throughout portions of Missouri and Arkansas and into Illinois and Iowa. Friday evening, we've got a little bit of cloud cover around. This is what's left of a few showers that will be possible Friday morning for us. Notice, though, most of the showers as we head into the weekend stay north of us. So I think we are going to get by with a relatively quiet weekend, which does include the Rock and Roll Marathon here. And we begin to dry out through Sunday before our next chance for rain arrives late Sunday night into Monday, it looks like. So Rock and Roll Marathon on Saturday. We're going to start off in the mid-60s. That's kind of mild for a marathon run, and it's going to be a bit breezy too. Other than that, it does look dry for now with a mostly cloudy sky.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Eurostone. This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Zander Insurance.
In business news, federal regulators ban non-compete clauses in new employment contracts, a decision that will impact tens of millions of American workers. The clause is essentially a legal agreement that keeps employees from going to work for the competition. Many companies make non-competes a condition of employment. The FTC says these non-competes reduce competition, though, and keep worker pay down. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce is threatening to sue to keep the ban from taking effect in August.
In the economy, General Motors earnings and sales finished higher than expected in the recent quarter, so the automaker is raising its profit outlook for the year. GM is seeing strong demand for gas-powered trucks and SUVs. GM says that its customers have been remarkably resilient in this period of higher interest rates. The company's pickups, the Chevy Silverado and the GMC Sierra, saw gains.
A new place to play, the neighborhoods here in town where pet owners can take advantage of a brand new dog park.
No, the trucking company and the insurance company are not concerned with the victim. I was worried about being able to pay my bills. I enjoyed you representing me because I knew I had to have the best.
Well, new tonight, good news for dog owners here in Nashville. Tonight, there's a brand new dog park to enjoy.
Good news indeed. City leaders cutting the ribbon on Central Dog Park today on 3rd Avenue North. You heard the barks there. The idea for the park came out of community meetings and input from people who live in and around the Germantown and the Salem Town neighborhoods. Looks nice.
Day 2 of Trump's trial in New York. I'm Christine Frizzell with what we learned from the first witness.
Houses before spouses is a growing movement. I'm Janae Bowens in Washington with a look at what it's all about.
This is Fox 17 News at 10, your Code Red station.
Tonight in Crisis in the Classroom, a bill that would allow Tennessee teachers to go armed in school is now on its way to the governor's desk.
Now, it's a controversial vote that triggered chaos at the Capitol both before and after the vote. Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller now live downtown at the state Capitol with reaction to the vote and what happens next.
Scott, Megan, as of today, the bill has passed both the House and the Senate, and some Tennesseans are outraged that teachers could potentially be armed inside of schools. Now, this has been a long and ongoing debate about firearms and school safety, especially after the tragic Covenant school shooting, causing uproar at the Capitol, starting with people holding signs in the gallery to shouting in opposition. Once troopers escorted people out of the gallery, people continued to protest outside the House floor. Republicans believe this will make teachers and students safer, especially, they say, in rural areas where several schools don't have school resource officers.
There's over 500 schools, public schools in the state of Tennessee that
still do not have a school resource officer. This is just another tool that will allow some of those rural school districts to be able to qualify someone.
You're just going to have a tragedy where a teacher's left a gun unattended and some third grader is going to grab it and accidentally shoot himself or a classmate.
Senator Bailey explains if a school district does not want to implement this policy, they don't have to. And Governor Lee still needs to approve and sign off on this bill for these policies to take place. Reporting live from the state capitol, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Crisis in the Classroom is Fox 17 News' commitment to exposing problems in our schools and to finding solutions. If you have a story you think we should cover, send an email to news@fox17.com, or you can phone our tip line. You see the number there at the bottom of the screen, 615-266-4149.
It's unacceptable. We are failing the public.
In Operation Crime and Justice, lawmakers calling for change after a repeat offender out on bond for murder is now accused of another murder. Police say 19-year-old Adrian Cameron Jr. is one of 3 suspects in the shooting death of rapper Chris King. He's still on the run. Officers believe the group tried to rob King after he left a Midtown recording studio over the weekend. Cameron is wearing an ankle monitor while he awaits trial for a 2021 murder. The DA's office says that it will revoke that bond once police find him. State Representative John Gillespie wants to see changes made, especially when it comes to juvenile murder suspects.
There are people out there that have common sense that would say the 15-year-old that just was accused of murdering 2 people and carjacking someone, that person's probably a pretty violent person and should be treated as an adult. But unfortunately, we don't all have common sense.
Well, Gillespie has a few bills on the issue, including stricter pretrial monitoring. We'll take a deeper dive into repeat offenders Thursday on Fox 17 News at 9.
Tonight in Operation Crime and Justice, state lawmakers open the door to amend a part of the Tennessee Constitution on the books in 1796, the year our state was founded. It would give Tennessee judges wider discretion to keep people accused of serious crimes in jail until trial. Those offenses include second-degree murder, child rape, and terrorism, among others. Right now, judges can only deny bail in Tennessee in capital murder cases. The House passed the resolution today after some spirited debate.
If it was the answer, that provision would not have remained intact since 1796.
You know who doesn't become a repeat offender? The one that stays in prison. Those people can't reoffend.
State Senate passed this bill as well. Amending the Constitution requires the next legislature to pass the resolution as well. If that happens, it would go on the ballot for a public vote in 2026 where the people would have the final say. Katie?
Scott, mainly clear skies turning into a cloudy sky for the overnight. It will lead to a few showers as you're sleeping, but by tomorrow morning, I think we are drying out. So a lot of this rain will happen again while you are sleeping, and by the time we head out the door, rain showers will be a thing of the past. Partly cloudy skies 7 a.m. Look at temperatures in the upper 50s. Topping off in those low 60s for the mid-morning hours. We are quiet and we're dry at the moment here from our South Nashville view. We do have a frontal boundary on the way. It does have a few showers attached to it. The good news is I don't even see thunderstorms as a big problem for us here. Our strike count now 0, so that would mean lightning strikes within view, and we have none at this time. So just some good old-fashioned rain, starting to see it enter into Trigg County there, and we'll see scattered rain through the overnight. You may or may not see these showers here. It's not going to be a widespread rain for us all. Low temperatures tonight right around 56 in Nashville, Dickson around 55, Columbia around 54 degrees, Clarksville around 55 as well. We'll talk more about a few more shower chances on the way as we head into the later part of the work week. That coming up in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast. Megan.
Thank you, Katie. New tonight, the Federal Trade Commission votes to ban non-compete clauses in employment contracts, a major move that experts believe will be challenged in court. The White House has been pushing to ban non-competes. These agreements keep people from leaving a company to work for competitors for a certain amount of time. About 1 in 5 employees are currently restricted by non-competes across America. While the FTC argues that they harm workers, Business groups say the FTC doesn't have the authority to ban them. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce is suing to block the feds. That could tie things up potentially for years. If former President Trump wins the presidency this fall, he could rescind the measure.
Just ahead, gearing up for the NFL draft on Thursday, the position the Titans are expected to target with their first-round pick.
Hey there, I'm Fox 17 News This Morning anchor Erica Glover, and so many of us are putting those final touches on our summer vacation plans, right? Well, a new study shows 1 in 3 people will go into debt in order to make those summer vacations.
The Big Bang Theory. Tomorrow at 6 on Fox 17.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Tennessee Homebuyers.
The NFL draft begins on Thursday, and the stakes could not be higher for the Titans' first-year head coach Brian Callahan.
Well, the team has the 7th overall pick. Fox 17 sports director Jill Jelnick has more on who the Titans will target in the first round.
The Tennessee Titans had a lot of needs going into this offseason, but none bigger than left tackle. The majority of draft experts have the Titans selecting a lineman in the first round of the NFL draft. And the good news is both general manager Ryan Carthon and head coach Brian Callahan believe this is a draft class that is deep with offensive line talent. Carthon also noted that besides looking at the typical size and speed of linemen, they also look at scheme. A lot of college offenses these days have started to shift back to a pro-style offense, and that's something the Titans evaluate when they're looking at the tape and looking out for their future offensive linemen.
We were looking at the numbers yesterday. The numbers are pretty consistent. The O-line is a little deeper for us, in particular, and I think a lot of it has to do with what you're doing schematically and how these different players fit into your scheme. There was a time where college offenses were pro-style offenses, and then it kind of went more spread, and you're starting to see a little bit more of the pro concepts coming back. So you have a little bit more guys that fit, right into what you want to do.
Just from my point of view, it's a bunch of good players. There's it's probably more offensive linemen than there's been in past classes. This feels deep in terms of the talent that's available. And the same thing with the receivers. I think the receiver classes are pretty similar these days, where you're going to have a handful of high-end talent that's probably going to go in the higher parts of the rounds, and there's going to be some depth in the class that's got a lot of different options for what you're looking for in a receiver.
Of course, offensive lineman and receiver, the two biggest needs for the Titans, but you can't forget about the defense. Coach Callahan also mentioning how their scout team, they're challenging that team to look for defensive studs in those 5th, 6th, and 7th rounds. Those are the rounds that they hope to separate themselves and have an advantage when it comes to finding those talented players. NFL draft this Thursday, 7 p.m. start for the first round. And as always, Fox 17 will have you covered. Reporting from the Titans practice facility, Jill Jelnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
Continuing coverage tonight as leaders in Baltimore plan to open a 4th shipping channel by the end of the week, that is, if weather will permit. It is a deeper pathway to allow several larger ships that have been essentially stuck waiting for weeks to get through. Then they intend to pause traffic for about 10 days. Maryland's Governor Wes Moore says crews are still working to remove debris from on top of the Dolly, the main ship in the channel there, so it can be reloaded, or floated, I should say, and moved. This is dangerous work, especially while other ships are nearby.
We are going to work efficiently, and we're going to work safe, and we're not going to choose between the two.
Crews have been working around the clock for a month now. More than 2,900 tons of wreckage have already been removed. 145 commercial vessels have used the temporary channels.
Day 2 of Trump's trial in New York. I'm Christine Frizzell with what we learned from the first witness.
Big truck cases. Get Hughes and Coleman and get it done. Call 800-800-4600.
Google reportedly firing 20 additional workers in connection with last week's sit-in protests at offices in New York and California. The employees were protesting against the company's cloud computing contract with the Israeli government. This comes after the company dismissed 28 pro-Palestinian employees last week. Ground broke Monday in Las Vegas on the $12 billion Brightline West passenger rail line. The all-electric bullet train will travel an astonishing 186 miles per hour between Vegas and Los Angeles. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg saying it will ease car traffic, eliminate 400,000 tons of carbon pollution each year, and create 35,000 jobs.
These are not just jobs, they are good-paying union jobs.
And Amazon will offer a $9.99 a month, 1-hour window grocery delivery service for Prime members, and it will cost $4.99 a month for customers on a government supplemental benefits plan. The fee covers unlimited delivery from Whole Foods and participating stores, unlimited 30-minute pickup, and unlimited delivery on orders of more than $35. It will be available in 3,500 cities and towns across the U.S. Amazon has been testing the plan in some markets since last year, and it's offering a free 30-day trial. That's business. In New York, CJ Papa, Fox News.
Well, we want to know what you think. Earlier in the newscast, we told you about our X poll up and running right now, asking, do you think TikTok poses a threat to our national security? Almost 500 people weighing in here. 54.8% think yes, 45.2% say no. Each night, look for a brand new poll on our X page that you can participate in.
Continuing coverage now on former President Trump's hush money trial in Manhattan, where prosecutors are laying the groundwork for their case.
Fox 17 News' Christine Frizzell with a look now at what we learned from the first witness.
We have a gag order, which to me is totally unconstitutional. I'm not allowed to talk, but people are allowed to talk about me.
A dramatic morning in the courtroom as Donald Trump's attorney was repeatedly scolded by the judge over his client's refusal to abide by a gag order, prohibiting him from attacking witnesses and jurors. With posts like this, they are catching undercover liberal activists lying to the judge in order to get on the Trump jury. One of several violations leading the judge to tell Trump's lawyer Todd Blanche, you're losing all credibility with the court. The key testimony on day 2 came from David Pecker, former publisher of the National Enquirer. An August 2015 meeting at Trump Tower between Donald Trump, Michael Cohen, and David Pecker, central to questions from the prosecution. Pecker said he was asked about what he and his magazines could do to, quote, help the campaign. Pecker describing himself as the architect of Catch and Kill, which he asked be kept very confidential, as they bought and suppressed negative information from women selling stories, instead running multiple negative headlines about Trump's opponents, some displayed in the courtroom as examples.
What he's testifying to is kind of an ugly side of politics and trying to influence voters through work in the media or work in the refs. He did not have any testimony, about the internal bookkeeping, which is the heart of the criminal case.
Former U.S. Attorney John Fishwick calls Pecker a perfect first witness for prosecutors, a longtime loyal friend of Donald Trump who can set the table for the jury and start to build the story they plan to tell.
The case is a sham.
As Trump and his team are expected to tell theirs, a political candidate playing politics as usual.
The Trump legal team, will stick with their line, which I think will be a good line for him. And this is nothing illegal. This is politics as usual. He's doing nothing that is different from any other political campaign.
For the duration of this trial, court will not be in session on Wednesdays. David Pecker is expected to return to the stand to take questions on Thursday. In Washington, I'm Christine Frizzell.
In science and technology, NASA's deep space aircraft Voyager 1 is now sending data back to Earth again. NASA says that Voyager 1 is now returning usable data on the status of its onboard systems, the first usable data it has sent since November. NASA says the Voyager has a damaged chip that's responsible for storing a part of its flight data. Scientists implemented a bit of a workaround to get the data flowing again. Voyager 1, get this, launched more than 46 years ago and is now more than 15 billion miles from Earth.
Everything quiet for now, but as we head into the evening hours tonight, we are tracking a few light showers. I don't see a lot of rain, though, in the rain gauge by tomorrow morning. In fact, a lot of this is going to happen while you're asleep, and then waking up to go to work tomorrow morning. It'll all be out of here. So with that, if you have yard work to do for tomorrow morning, I really don't think it'll be too difficult. So giving you the green light, also looking at green light for Thursday, and then a little bit better chance for rain coming in by Friday with a few showers possible, especially in the morning. Now this afternoon, our allergy levels have been off the chart. Very high tree pollen right now. Elm, cedar, pine, and birch, all the main culprits. Weed category in the on the low side here, but also looking at quite a bit of grass allergy as well. So we've had just kind of a bad day as far as allergies go. Winds looking much better, anywhere between 5 to 10 mile per hour wind gusts at this time, and so it won't be quite as breezy as we head through not only the overnight but into tomorrow as well. Here's a look at the front again. Cold front just behind it here. What I want to note is the strike count that we have. Not too many of those areas picking up lightning this evening. So maybe a rumble of thunder or two, but generally we're going to be looking at just some good old-fashioned rain showers. 65, 10 o'clock, we're up to about 74 by 2 with a mainly sunny sky. And mainly sunny skies continue into 5 o'clock with those temperatures in those low 70s. So we walk you through tonight through midnight. You can see a few of those showers starting to push more into southern Kentucky. They really even break apart more so as we head into the early morning hours here. So light scattered showers around here. You may or may not see rain as we head towards 5, 6 o'clock, even 7 a.m. Showers then moving out of Middle Tennessee and left with a decrease in cloud cover. Nice afternoon on tap for Wednesday into early Thursday morning with mainly clear skies around. A little bit wider view here as we take you into Thursday. We are quiet. It'll be Thursday night into Friday that we're tracking another chance for rain. This one will be a little bit better than what we'll see for the overnight tonight. Scattered showers around. Thunderstorms not really a problem for us here. And then going into Friday night, Saturday, we begin to dry out. Some models hinting at maybe a stray shower for Saturday morning. But for now, I'm going to keep the marathon forecast dry, a bit breezy and a bit warm for a marathon run. Temperatures in the mid 60s. Mid to upper 60s at the start of the race. So kind of mild and breezy for the run, but at least we're looking at dry conditions. We'll see another chance for showers, probably the best one of the next 7 days, moving in early next week.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
A gorgeous sunrise in Gulf Shores, Alabama on Monday gave way to a beautiful day just 30 miles to the east at Pensacola Beach, Florida. Plenty of beautiful shots of the so-called full pink moon. It peaks this evening but appears visible through Thursday morning. And purple lights help Quincy, Illinois' Bayview Bridge stand out during Monday's sunset.
Listen to Off the Radar, new episodes every Tuesday. Find it wherever you get your podcasts.
You can see more stories like this every weekday morning on the National Weather Desk. It starts at 8 a.m. on our sister station, MyTV 30.
APR financing or a $2,000 customer bonus on a new 2024 Tiguan during the Volkswagen 75th anniversary sales event.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by the Nashville Predators.
It's playoff time for the Nashville Predators. Tonight, the Preds are on the road in Vancouver for Game 2 in their opening round series against the Canucks.
Well, the Preds looking to even the series after the Canucks win Game 1 Sunday night. Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick, she's ready for the game. Put me in, Coach.
Put me in, Megan. Scott, I'm ready to go. Obviously, I mean, this isn't my normal attire for the sportscast, but tonight's is a little different. Preds playing in Vancouver, which means the game just started, and I can't show you highlights just yet. So I thought, well, this and this is the closest I could get you to game day for the Preds, and at least I can show you what's happened so far because we've had some action. Now, first, let's start with the news of the day. The Canucks starting goalie Thatcher Demko is out with an injury, so backup goalie Casey DeSmith making his second career playoff start, and the Preds take advantage right away. Not even 2 minutes in, 18:46. The Preds on the forecheck. Here's who's on the ice. Ryan O'Reilly, the factor, right here in the slot. Anthony Beauvillier right next to him. And in case you can't tell by that mustache, that's Philip Forsberg. Forsberg with the puck here, takes a shot. Beauvillier gets his stick on it, deflects it, and goes right past to Smith for the goal. Completely fools him as the Preds take a 1-0 lead. Hit it, Katie. And that's how the Preds took a 1-0 lead in the first period. A great start for Nashville after dropping Game 1 on Sunday. Also worth noting, Oh yeah, I was hiding the juice over here. You see Saros, he was fantastic in the first period, 24 saves in the first period alone. This is a Preds team that's looking really good, so hopefully they can continue this momentum and even up this series as the game continues. Guys, I'll go ahead and send it back to you. I'm going to go take a lap around the ice, maybe hit some people along the way, so don't get in my way for the rest of the night, okay?
Houses before spouses is a growing movement. I'm Janae Bowens in Washington with a look at what it's all about.
Is that in your background said former U.S. Marine. You can trust them. I knew when you'd say something to me, I didn't have to wonder if you were telling me the truth.
Covering the economy tonight, Houses Before Spouses is a growing movement essentially encouraging millennials and members of the Gen Z crowd to partner with friends to become homeowners.
Well, Fox 17 News' Janae Bowens taking a closer look at the trend.
Christina Moderis and Stephanie Douglas didn't wait to find the loves of their lives to buy their first homes.
Houses Before Spouses is our way of saying you don't have to do this in a traditional way.
Their mantra is gaining popularity on social media, where they share how to partner with others to buy homes and build wealth.
Together, we own 24 houses, but only one of those, or maybe two of them, we own on our own. We've partnered on every single other one with our sisters, our friends, our parents.
I could be creative, and I gained a lot of confidence.
Now they are onto something. A recent survey from JW Surety Bonds found nearly 15% of Americans have co-purchased a home with a person other than their romantic partner, and another 48% would consider it. These are numbers Moderis and Douglas expect to keep growing.
You should not do this unless you have an operating agreement.
We say that your first house doesn't have to be your dream house, and it can be a stepping stone.
And this cost sharing is especially needed at a time when mortgage rates are above 7% and the median home sale price is $393,500.
I think this is a way for younger people to get into the market sooner.
The pair have a real estate brokerage called Open House Austin. They've already helped over 600 people buy homes. I'm Janae Bowens reporting.
All right, time for breakfast weather. Got some kids that got to get out of the house tomorrow.
Yeah, we've got, I think by breakfast time, even most of the rain that we may see will be gone. And